It's easier for me to be a cartel leader than a dog whisperer.
Yeah. Hey, are you allowed to use that word, that term anymore? What's
Not
the
yet.
latest?
Not yet.
No?
Not
What's
yet.
the story with that now?
Well, we're still under, this legal problem.
Is it that you love it that much, or that you know that there's something unique about you?
Now I know, but not when I started. As a Mexican, you bring family in.
Because you gave her trust. You thought it could be she. Right.
If you're going to take 50, take 50. But she took everything. I went to talk to Will Smith, and I wanted a wisdom from somebody that has achieved money, fame, power at another level that I have, right? Yet. I love my father. I admire my dad. Everything I learn is from my dad. But when it comes to being a good husband, I couldn't learn anything good from him.
There's another moment that we didn't talk about, and I just wanted to see kind of how that felt for you, was when you lost Daddy. There are some rumors and whatnot that float around about you. Were there times in life when you felt like, I can't get past this? This is too much for me.
I wasted years of therapy. I could have just come on this podcast.
You probably got more info out of celebrities than anyone else.
In my private life, I was living a nightmare.
This was definitely no stock podcast.
I think we ought to do this every week now.
I love how we get together every year or two or whatever. And it seems like you're always in a little bit of a different place, and we talk about something different each time. So where are you now? You're saying 100% like you're there, you reached that spot. Maybe not 100, because you're still, you want to be able to get even better and better.
Oh, you can only always get better, better. Yeah. And if you get bored or confused or whatever, you just move to another country, and then you begin again to discover something. But what
about yourself.
Yeah. By yourself. Yeah, because you have to start all over.
Yeah.
So every time that you feel like block or whatever, just go somewhere else and start all over, right? And then your faith, your belief system needs to work, and then your instincts needs to adapt. And then you learn to love certain things, not love certain things. And then you just learn how to strategize in that part of the world. Right?
Okay, so where are you now, like we were saying?
Listen, since the last time we saw each other, I have done a lot of ceremonies, ayahuasca ceremonies, the Todd ceremony. And the reason why it called me is because I wanted to clean my energy. When you are around environments, you absorb. You're not always... You don't always know how to block negative energy or deal with negative moments, and they stay inside of you, right? So the feeling of not feeling worth became, maybe I'm not good enough, right? Maybe I'm not smart enough. I have a talent here, but not here, because people keep taking advantage of me. So what is it about me? Right? So I begin to clean. And so to answer the question, how do I feel now? I feel clean. I feel clear. I feel pure. I feel the same way I felt when I was a kid. Happy, healthy, good heart, always hope. Right? So the show is called Better Human, Better Planet, or Better Human, Better Dog. And the last Mother's Day, I said, what can I give to my mom? Well, the best thing I can give to my mom is to be a better human. Do I feel like a better human? And I said, yeah, I do. I feel clean. I feel clear. I feel pure. And meaning I don't have anger. I don't have fears. I'm not sabotaging myself or procrastinating, fight-flight avoidance, right? That's how I check my animal. Do I'm fighting? Do I'm flying? Do I'm avoiding? Fight-flight avoidance.
So you asked yourself that now, right? Like if you're feeling something?
Which I do it with dogs, when I'm around dogs. But now when there's no dogs around, I'll do it, right? Cesar by himself, right? To have those conversations, not just having a conversation with God, but also having a conversation with Cesar.
So that's new. Your conversations with yourself, I feel like, right?
Yeah. Because otherwise, I'm expecting God to guide me, protect me, and all of that, and which He does. But what about just me? Can I do it? Yes, and of course, it's good to have a pack leader around you. But every once in a while, can I make the right decisions? That I mature.
Yeah.
The whole point of coming to Earth is, what's the point? Well, you're coming to Earth to be alive, to manage time, and to create memories. Right? That's practically it. And so, but might as well just do it with the good energy, with the good philosophy, and your good actions. And if you can have people around you that share the same feeling, it gets better, because it's easy for me to do it with animals. It's easy for me to have good energy, good philosophy, good action, and all the animals agree, right? But can I do the same thing with humans?
Much harder with humans, at least for you. Some people don't understand animals at all, right? But not like you, but but much more complex. But if you can figure that out, but also in terms of like you were saying about, can I do it myself? Yeah. So that's important because first of all, you remember I'm a therapist, so this is my thing. This is my jam.
Yep.
So if you can be the one who can do these things for yourself, that's good because you're with yourself all the time. Like the rest of your life, all your life before now has all been with you. Yep. So you have the biggest impact on yourself.
Yep. I call it to be a cat. So I'm learning to be a cat.
Okay.
Yeah, because the cats, like that's what I never understood cats until recently. But when I was working on myself, I learned that the reason why they say you have to be alone. Because as a Mexican, they tell you not to be alone. God is always around you, right? But as an American, they say you have to learn to master being alone. Or as a Hindu or as a Buddhist, right? It's like, okay, that's a different way of thinking. Why would I want to be alone, right? Why would I want to be like a cat? It's like, that's another homework to achieve because you have to learn to be pack-oriented, right? But you also have to be self-oriented. And that's the scary one because you're only relying on your feedback. No other feedback. No your woman feedback, no your children feedback, no your dog's feedback, not your home feedback, nothing. It's your feedback. Do you trust your spirit? Do you respect your instinct? Do you love with your heart? And can you create again with your mind if they take your money, fame, and power? It's like, wow. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because I did it when I was a kid. I just didn't see it that way.
Right. That's what I was just going to say is when you were a kid, absolutely. That's how you started. And like you said before, so how did you even know, you didn't know America, but you knew when you were a kid in Mexico that you wanted to be the best, is that what you said?
Yeah.
You wanted to be the best dog trainer in America, right?
In the world.
In the world. You said this at what age?
13.
And why?
So at that time, it was a voice that says, say this, right? So some people have visions, and for me, it was a voice, right? It was a voice that say you want to be the best doctor in the world. But I always wanted to be around animals. It's just that in that moment, a voice comes and say this. And my mom was there, right? And I said, Mom, you think I can be the best doctor in the world? Remember, when I was 10 years old, I told my mom, I'm going to be a drug cartel because I grew up there. You
told your mom that?
Yes. My mom and me, and my mom and myself, we have a very trusting, respectful relationship. And so she knows everything that I wanted to do. Because at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure that she's happy with me.
Right.
Right. I was always a good kid. I always been a good kid.
Right. And I remember you told me you had a lot of energy.
Yeah. So I was an active kid, but I also was a kid that surrendered to the mom, right? And surrendered to God and surrendered to my traditions and stuff like that. So I have always been a good kid. And so I said, Mom, seeing, cartel people, I see power, I see money. Right. And so all the beautiful women come to them. I had no idea. No understanding what did they do. I just know they were cartel people. And now people can see because of social media. Now you can see as a kid, you can see what these people do.
Right.
I didn't grow up in social media. It was just the newspaper. That was it. Right. And then the word of mouth. But most people will worship them because they do good things for the people. See, for us over there, the government do bad things, and the drug cartel do good things. So you unconsciously develop this respect or gratitude to these people, right? They're not going after you. They're just giving you what you expect the government to do for you, which is keeping things safe, opportunities.
So what changed then for you that you decided, forget
Oh,
that?
my mom slapped me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she said, if you want to kill me, that's what you do. But I have no idea. I was 10. And that's when I started watching Lassie and Rin Tin Tin.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
Yeah.
Rin Tin Tin and Lassie.
Yeah. So that right after that, because I wanted to be a vet.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Because I was telling in the Pack Leadership community, when I was a kid, I was very clear that I wanted to do things with dogs. But the only options I had was to be a vet. But because I come from poverty, it was impossible for me to go to Mexico City or Guadalajara. All right. So what else? Well, groomer. Okay. So I did groom dogs. I
Right.
did bait dogs. Right. And then what else? Dog training. So where can I learn? From Americans. Because Lassie and Rin Tin Tin live here. So then when I was 13, I said, well, one day when I grew up, I'm going to America to work with whoever trained Lassie and Rin Tin Tin. So I started at 13, but I left when I was 21.
Right. That's incredible. And I love that. And that's exactly right. You knew something. So it was a voice you heard, and it was something inside, and you trusted yourself. And by the way, this is one thing that I tell people when they ask me about my show and like, what's the common thread between, all the people that you've interviewed or whatever. And the thing I often say is that the people who are super successful, it's not by accident. It's like they had a vision, and you're somebody who I bring up as an example of that. You had a vision when you were young, and that was it. You just went for that. You believed in yourself enough, and no matter what was thrown your way, you kept going. That is huge, and it's such a wonderful lesson for life for everybody. It's like you're going to be thrown down a lot. There's going to be a lot of obstacles, and you're going to feel like you can't go any further. So it's all about picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and going on, right? Do you agree with that?
You can only do it that way. Because you don't know the obstacles. You know what you want, and you don't even know how to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
No roadmap for you.
No.
For anybody to become the best dog trainer in the world, for anybody.
There
but
was
also
none.
for you even less, because you weren't even like in the place where that would happen.
Exactly. I'm from where it's easier for me to be a cartel leader than a dog whisperer.
Yeah. Hey, are you allowed to use that term anymore? What's
Not
the
yet.
latest?
Not
no?
yet. Not
What's
yet.
the story with that now?
We're still under, this legal problem, but it's that, right? So I didn't came to America to have a TV show. I didn't even came to stay here. I was just coming to gather some knowledge, and I believe in 1 year I would definitely learn something, and then I know anything to master requires repetitions. Right. So that I knew.
Yeah.
Even to learn how to be a good fisherman is repetition. But as a street smart person that I have always been, I knew that I can catch things really fast, especially because I love them. Right. I love this dog world. Right. And I wanted this dog world to become the source of my income. And that's how I want to die. Right. That's it. I was very clear. The beginning, the middle, and the end. It has to be around dogs, and I have to become this best. And it's not an ego thing. It's just I just love it that much.
Is it that you love it that much, or that you know that there's something unique about you? Like, there's something almost magical.
Now I know, but not when I started.
You didn't. So what was it when you started? You just a love for dogs?
Pure
Just
love. Yeah.
love.
It's like Ronaldo, Messi, all those guys. They just love to kick the ball.
Yeah.
That's all they do. They just love to kick the ball, but they do it so well. They believe they can make a goal. So they use their spirit, and then they use their instinct to achieve it. And then they use the mind to strategize it. So without knowing, they think it's just love. No, of course, it's all the four worlds. As your belief, as your instinct, as your creativity, and of course, your passion. But we use that word a lot, right? I love this. That's why I want to do it. No, I believe I can do it. I know I know instinctually I can do it. Intellectually, I use it if I get stuck, and then I create new things, right? Because before I explain people what I do, I was already really good at it instinctually.
Yeah.
My mom had no idea why I was good at it. You know, it's like I mastered something before my mind understood.
Right.
Yeah.
So has that changed? Like, do you now know intellectually why you're good at it?
I'm 55.
Yeah. So how has your vision of yourself and your ability with dogs?
Number one, this is not a job, it's a mission, right? It's a mission. It's a mission to better the world, to help people in a natural, simple, profound way. Hey guys, you require good energy, good philosophy, good actions to have the best dog on earth. If you have no money or you have a lot of money, it's the same formula, right? So can a dog follow people with their poor? Of course. I come from there.
Yeah.
Right? So the dog doesn't require money, fame, and power. The dog only requires that you're natural, simple, profound. So all these words and formulas and rituals and symbols, I started developing because I needed to communicate to the American people and eventually the world. This is how you do it, right? This is how you connect, communicate, have a relationship with a dog that is going to be off leash. Because America pays to people so the dog learns to do off leash. Like they send the dog to be trained so he can be off leash. It's like that, like sending a lion to be off leash or an elephant to be off leash.
It's natural.
Yes, it should be natural.
Yeah.
You should be able to trigger being willing to be followed, or the law of attraction, right? Whatever you want to call it. So why they were not doing? Why America, instead of having this willingness, had fight, flight, avoidance? Because if you watch the show, right, it's all about aggression, fear, ignoring the human. Why this country, they love dogs so much and gives dogs rights? You can do it.
I can.
Yeah. He wants to be. That's Alfie. He's the elder in the pack. He's 15 years old now.
He's 15. Oh, cute. Can you please get a picture of this? It is so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's the
I love
elder
he's just looking at. I don't know if you remember this, but last time, so we had set up the cameras last time we were here. And when we were editing, after we had gotten back, we were looking at the footage. And at the beginning, the camera was not set up properly. It was off by a bit. And one of your dogs knocked into the tripod and knocked it into focus and into the proper position. It was like the dog knew, this is not good for my pack leader. I need to get this on track.
I love when people come to a ranch because it's magical. You know, this ranch is in the middle of the desert. It's desert.
Yes.
And for us to have all this beautiful greenery that we have, all these trees, they managed to grow. It has a magical thing. Things align. You know, like
the camera aligned.
The camera aligned.
But it wasn't by itself. It was from your pack.
From a dog, right? And so those things, that was a coincidence. You can call it a coincidence.
Yeah.
Or you can believe in magic or miracles. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's exactly how I built this place. You know, it was just a fate. I went to the top of the mountain and I just saw the whole thing being visualized. That's a dog park. That's a waterfall. That's a trail. That's a temple. There's everything. Like, you know, when kids play, what is it called? Minecraft. Right? You have to create your own city. Right? But I did it. But I saw it before I created it. Yeah, that was a vision. That was just a vision. And that's when I told the lady who sold me the place, I would like to purchase it. Okay. I'm going to build this place. I'm going to create a city for dogs. That's,
again, the thing that you had that vision. It was something inside. You listened to yourself and you just did it.
Yep.
But there were probably difficult moments as well that you had to, like, we're talking about these obstacles and everything else. So what are some of the lowest times for you?
In what way?
In life that you felt like, were there times in life when you felt like, I can't get past this? This is too much for me.
Well, I didn't understand. Now I can. Now I'm 55, and after I deal with it, it's like I could have react different, right? I could have see things different. I could have just breathe different, you know, or I could just go into be quiet or in a cold plunge, before I acted, like when I tried to commit suicide. That was out of a lot of anger, right? Because coming from where I'm from, I learned to hate or kill. And so when something bad is done to you, you can hate the person or kill the person, right? So that reality, that thing that I grew up in it, that I never used it until someone did something really bad to me, right? That to me is like, oh, now that I see it, it's like, there's no need to do that, right? There's no need. I could have just easily fixed it by going into a cold plunge.
By going into
Oh
a
my
cold
God, you killed it.
plunge.
You killed your frustration.
And then
you killed your anger.
Okay, what would you have done had you had a cold plunge at that point?
I would just surrender to, the process and just know that you got to start all over again somewhere else with someone else. And of course wait for the kids to come back because they were told the wrong thing. Right? So it was a lot of things that happened to me during the divorce, right? Because it was just done in such a hard way. Unnecessary.
Well, with the kids?
Yeah. My kids were put against me.
By your ex-wife?
By the mom. So one of the reasons is we're going to divorce because you're a bad father. There's no way in the world that I can be a bad father. If I'm a good father to a dog, I'm a great father to my kids. And that's the reason why I married her, right? Out of honor. I understand that she didn't feel my love, but she did feel my honor and she did feel my respect, and definitely I made money. So I wasn't a bad father. You see it? So even though I did these actions, a human has the time to say something completely the opposite and to paint me as an evil person.
Well, what was she trying to do? Like just get custody or money or something?
Oh, well, of course. Listen, now we're fine.
Yeah.
Right? Because I told you, I went and asked, hey, whatever I did wrong, I'm here to apologize. 10 years later, because I was holding this hate inside of me. And that's when I started working on, with the ceremony, because why do I have this energy? I didn't came to America with this energy. When I was poor, I was happier. Mm-hmm. Then I have money, fame, and power. It's like, why do I feel like everybody wants, to take a piece of me?
Yeah.
I have no idea. How do you protect yourself from that?
Right. That's what you weren't prepared
I wasn't.
for at all. You didn't
wasn't.
expect that. You would have no way to think that. But you still, at that point, you were still like, this is a lot that comes with this, but I still can do it. I can get up. I can do something. I can create it again, is kind of what you told yourself.
I went to talk to Will Smith. And because he had divorce, right? I never had a divorce. I don't come from a divorce family.
Wait, Will Smith was divorced when you...
Yeah. Before the married Jada? Yeah.
Oh, he's divorced before Jada?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And Jada was one of your first clients, right?
Not first, but
okay.
Part of the family. Yeah. So the Independence Day, when Will did Independence Day?
Yeah.
So that's when I came in.
What did you do?
When he just went to the top of the world with a movie, after, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and his music and everything. But obviously I wanted the wisdom, right? And I wanted a wisdom from somebody that has achieved money, fame, and power at another level that I have, right? Yet. I say, this happened to me, I explained to it. And he goes, how did you start the business? Well, I started from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Well, there you go. I thought he was going to give me a secret, a formula, something like magical, something, oh my God, Will Smith has all the answers, and I'm going to bypass all this, start all over again. And
that was it.
That was it. That was his answer.
What did you think when he said that?
I didn't like it. Because I was expecting a different answer.
You were expecting something profound.
Yes, Will, I don't have
insightful.
anything. They took everything. They froze my account. They took everything. That's how I lost Dog Whisper, right?
But again, just to be clear, so you lost everything from what? Who took the discovery?
Because my ex used to control everything.
Your agents.
Everything. She was in charge of controlling
your
the business
ex.
part. Yes, the business part. So that was my first relationship.
Oh, wait. So
Right.
she was involved in the
I brought it
taking of your
in
name?
because as a Mexican, you bring family in, right? So you bring family in. And so, okay, you speak English. I don't speak good English. You read English. I can read English still, perfectly. So you should, and you should protect this, money coming in.
Because you gave her trust. You thought it could be she. Right.
If you're going to take 50, take 50. But she took everything. And she wanted to take the kids. So it was a big mess, right? It was unnecessary. Unnecessary.
And so she's really the one who took the name The Dog Whisperer?
She what?
She is the one who took your name, The
No,
Dog
the
Whisperer?
production company took it.
The production
She just
company.
gave the rights.
Oh, gave the rights.
yeah.
So she probably sold the rights, I guess, to them or whatever.
She gave it away. She didn't know
didn't
either.
care.
She didn't know either.
Was
didn't,
that devastating that The Dog Whisperer was no longer going to belong to you?
Yeah, because I
you-
thought I was 50% owner. So, you know what I mean? Because that was our conversation. But one thing is having a conversation, the other thing is on paper, which I had no idea. I come from a chick hands. I come from a farm. Right? And I was raised with a 105-year-old grandfather who his word was his bond.
Yeah.
So imagine, I thought that everybody lived in that world. But in America, it's all about the paperwork. I have no idea. And, I thought America was the best in the world, the most honest, the most respectful, the most loving, the most smart. Right? And the problem is, now I know people, they are like that.
Yeah.
But I have to meet
Yes.
the ones that bite.
Right. They're both. They're good and bad. So they're
there's
not all one or the
good
other.
American people.
Okay, so Will gives you that, and then you're like, no,
I
it
didn't like the
doesn't
answer.
apply. So what did you do with it? What did you do?
No, I did it. I started
So
all
you
over
said
again.
that's what I just have to do is start
Well,
all over?
What else can I do? I had nothing. I
Yeah,
had to
but
go
like
start.
a lot of people would just walk away and be like, I have to go to plan B or something else.
That's the part that I can because it's a mission, right? So all this knowledge and just this kid that comes from this particular part of Sinaloa, where he could easily become a drug cartel, he was chosen to become the dog whisperer.
You feel like you were chosen.
Yeah. Yeah. It was easier to do that. It was easier to be part of the cartel. It was easier.
Right.
Easier
Of course.
than being the dog. Nobody has ever been the dog
Right.
whisperer worldwide. People say,
Right.
I'm a dog whisperer in your community.
By the way, I hate to tell you this, but I was in a store the other day and I saw a product and it had the dog
You're
whisperer
the dog
on
whisperer.
it.
Yeah.
I was offended and I really wanted to defend you. And I was like, what is this piece of whatever in the store? That has nothing to do with
But
the
the
dog
goal
whisperer.
is to at one point, purchase it again. Yeah.
Will you be able to? That comes
At one
up.
point.
So it'll expire or something like that.
They just, get old. People get old and they want to sell it. And,
Okay. So did Will come back to you for advice after things in his life changed?
Then I entered into another relationship, which is, the
Jahida.
Jahaira. And then that was a different conversation. And, we all have to work on ourselves. But then it just fell apart. Yeah. But he's always given me the right answer. I just don't want the answer.
So you
Because I'm
think
not
he's-
ready. I'm not ready. I want to
Yeah.
hear magic. I want to hear, I give people solutions, right?
Right.
I guess
Yeah, you get very specific practical
Yes.
tips for doing things.
Like I can see it. Oh, if I do this, my dog is gonna change. Yeah, it's like 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Like I did it for years.
I know you thought you didn't have it in you anymore to probably.
No, I
do
just
that,
don't want to
but
do
you
it
did.
again
Yeah,
because
who
I already
wants-
did it. I thought I already climbed it that way. Why would I have to do it again? So that part.
Was it just as hard that second time?
No. I was
It happened
famous.
fast too, right?
I was famous. The fame didn't go away. Right. So the only thing I had was fame, and the power. Right. Not the money.
Mm-hmm.
So money, fame, power. Right. That's what America is all about. Money, fame, power. If you have that, and then you rule the world. Look at the Kardashians, right? Money, fame, power. They can just. This is what we wearing. This is what we eating. This is what we listening to. So that's it. It is Yeah,
Right.
that's what it's all about.
So so all of
In
that
this
is in
world.
the past for you.
Yeah.
You really do feel like you've processed it, you've gotten over it, through it, the trauma of
Mm-hmm.
those things.
You know, when they say, well, hard things need to happen.
Yeah.
You know, Marcus Aurelius. So I've been listening to Marcus Aurelius.
Okay.
And all the Stoicism and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they say, I went through it. Right? So you have to go through hard times because hard times build character, build this, and you're here to go through hard times. Life shouldn't be simple and easy. It should have the ups and downs. It's like, so you have to be able to see like the hard things or the hard people as teachers.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I can see that. Because that's exactly, I became really good with dogs because I went after the worst ones. Right? The red zone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was that Mexican guy who rehabilitates aggressive dogs. Nobody was doing it.
Wait, did you do that on purpose? Because
No.
that was just
No.
because everybody would. Did it happen because everybody ended up with you because they couldn't figure out what else to do with these dogs?
When I started, the solution was euthanasia, medication, or isolation. Right? And
Yeah.
so people were devastated with those three options. Right? And my dog became aggressive. I raised them, you know, and they have this emotional attachment. Now the vet or the trainers suggest euthanization, isolation, or medication, like Prozac. Right? And then I come in, no, I can do it. I can rehabilitate them. I just got to put them in a pack of dogs. I did it instinctually. 65 dogs when I started. You know what I mean? Some that were from the street that I rescued. Most of them were pit bulls. So, and I just put them together. Right? And then through that action, without thinking, I started rehabilitating these aggressive dogs, which they were aggressive. I mean, they did harmful things, but I was able to bring them back to the calm surrender, to the happy-go-lucky, and to give people hope. Right? But I didn't do it knowingly. I just do it like
Because that's what you do.
I feel I can do it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can feel
I
can
mean,
do it.
that's a lot too, because I'm sure there are other dog trainers, just regular dog trainers, not magical ones like you, who would not be able to do that. And even just if they don't believe they can, then they definitely can't. Right? You have to also kind of believe that you can.
But that's what the spiritual energy comes from the faith, from the belief, right? So you have to use your spirit to create the magic. That's what miracles come from. So you have to be able to grab that energy and bring it with you, and then use your instincts so you can lead or you can follow whatever you need to do. And then once everything is in the right place, then you love it, and then the mind remembers it. Or if things are not 100% clear, the mind can come up with new ways.
Yeah.
Right? So I tell my kids, the mind is for three things. Otherwise, shut it down. To learn, to achieve, to teach. Yeah. If the mind is not doing that, turn it off. Just live with your spirit, your instinct, and your heart. Be happy, be healthy, be loving.
Okay, question. So now, I mean, there are some rumors and whatnot that float around about you. So
Yeah.
that's tough, right? How does that feel? Like, how do you handle that?
Which one?
Just rumors that go around about, oh, maybe Cesar's not nice to dogs, or I've heard some of that, or like some other things floating around. I think there's some rumor floating around that you're in prison or something.
Oh yeah, there's videos about it. Well, I have something very clear. You know, that when this riots began and a lot of the immigrant people began to get caught and stuff like that, I went on Instagram.
I saw that.
And
It
I
was
said,
beautiful.
right, and I said, hey, remember, we are the people.
Mm-hmm.
They follow us. Not what the country can do for you. What can you do for the country? 99% of us, we at service. So that's what I know about me. So once I know that about me, how can what they say bother me when I know me well? But
So you just let it go? You just ignore it? You're like, whatever, they don't know.
But they don't know.
Yeah,
That's the
well,
truth.
of course they don't know.
That's the truth, right? Because it's 20 years on TV. So National Geographic would have told me something by now, right? Or Disney would say something about it. They don't want the association, right? So it's a lot of factors or actions that you can see who I am, right? You don't want to hear me? Fine. Look at my actions. You don't even want to have the time to come and meet me so you can feel my energy? That's fine. Look at my actions. right? Because I can speak to you through my energy, what I'm saying, and my actions. But everybody says action speaks louder than words. My action speaks for me. The whole world has changed because of me. The dog world, energy, philosophy, action. I gave formulas, rituals, and symbols to the dog people because the dog people only had the concept of training dogs. It's like, why would you train a dog? First, connect, communicate, have a relationship based on trust, respect, love. Then you can train them. Then, because what you're training is the mind. What you're connecting is the spirit, the instinct, and the heart of a dog. That's a connection thing. You can train the mind, but you can't train the spirit, you can't train the instinct, and you can't train the heart. Those you earn the connection.
Right. Well, it's all about connection, in my opinion.
Communication,
with,
relationship.
With people, too.
Yeah.
Right. That's what all of life is about connection with other people, I think.
Yeah.
That's what is
connection
important
with the
to
land.
Me. Sure.
Connection with yourself.
Yes.
Connection with others.
Yes.
What others? Well, a cat, dog, human, a baby seal, whatever. You see, it's all about enjoying life as God gave you permission to be alive, because you have no access to the beginning and the end. You only have access to the middle, right? Because you can't choose when to come, and you shouldn't choose when to die, right? So the beginning, the birth, and the death belongs to God, or your parents, some of it. And then the middle, the life part of it, the experience on earth,
it's
that
yours.
You have actions.
Yeah.
That you have a choice. Right.
My son and I were just talking on the way in, actually, about how, like, it's so interesting. So too many people, I think, settle in life for like whatever. And there's so much life can be so rich and can have so much connection, and you could do so many things. Yep. But I think the majority of people just kind of, I don't know if it's fear or, I mean, I should be analyzing it, I guess, as a therapist, but I think a lot of it has to do with fear, but also the way you see yourself. So, I mean, seeing yourself and believing in yourself is huge.
I think one thing we have to be very clear, and that make sure that our children, and obviously we have to do it first, is self-knowledge. Who is Cesar Millan? Okay, so what is Cesar Millan? Well, Cesar Millan has a spirit, has an instinct, has a heart, and has a mind. Okay, that's self-knowledge. And then is Cesar Millan value that? That's self-value. Self-knowledge, and then you value that. I love my spirit. I love my instinct. I love my heart. Okay, there you go. I value it, because that's when you put value on it, right? So self-knowledge, self-value, self-love. The love is at the end. Love is never, to me, is never number one. I'm very clear about that. That's Rome, for me, is a bad propaganda to tell you, oh, love is all you need. That's not true, because you can't love people that you don't trust.
Right.
It's really like people, they love their dogs,
right,
but they don't trust the dogs,
right?
They say, well, I might have to put him down because I don't trust them. I don't trust them around my kids. I don't trust them around my family. I love them, and it hurts me, but I'm scared.
Yeah.
So self-knowledge is very important. Who are you? Who are you?
I always ask you that question at the end of our talks. I don't know if you remember that or not, but I always say, like, first I ask, what's a common misconception about you? And then I ask, like, who is Cesar Millan? Yeah. So that's a question I think it's important.
For everybody.
And here's something too. So you are like the person who has had an impact on so many people's lives, right? Like through their dogs.
Yep.
But I also know people who watch your shows and don't have a dog.
Correct.
So you've had a big impact on a lot of people, even without dogs, I'm going to say.
Yeah, no.
So it's not just through dogs, mostly.
Yeah. I've been in Saudi Arabia. They don't have a dog, but they like what I talk about.
Right. So
it's universal.
Yeah. Isn't that great that you can have that impact on people? I think it's amazing and good for you. So who has had that impact on you?
Oh my goodness! At that level, well, definitely Jada has always had is that friend that is a service, and her little moments that we spend has created a big ripple effect in my life. Like, sharing the moment when I say, I would like to have a TV show, a radio show, because I wanted to help people, and the next day it was a teacher, and at South Central. just because I said that.
Wait, you told Jada Pinkett that, and then she did what?
Then she hired a teacher so I can learn English. Because she said, well, for that, you have to speak English.
And she brought somebody in just
Yes.
to teach you.
Just like
The
that.
next day.
That's a person of service, right? So, number one, I felt free or trusting to share this thing with a client. Because she was my
Yeah,
client.
that was taking a leap of faith on your part, but you trusted her.
But I trusted my spirit, being open, and we've been friends since then. You know, we've been friends since that day, and we have never stopped having connection. I don't see her every year sometimes, you know, and sometimes she takes every 3 months, every 4 months, but it never feels like she's away from me. Never. And if I have like a doubt or confusion, or I'm unhappy, call my girl. I want to hear the feminine energy telling me I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. That's it. Because sometimes I just need that nurturing energy. Because I'm going, swoon, you know, direction, protection, masculine, rah. And I forget to do a little bit of love, right? A little bit of joy.
So something inside you tells you, I need to be with
I need
Jada
the feminine
for
energy.
this.
I need the feminine energy. My friend
And
who's
you
a
get it.
feminine energy,
Yeah.
and she works on her energy, and she works on her mind, and she has had ups and downs like me.
Does she
right?
come to you when she has her
Of
ups and downs?
course, of course, of course.
And
of
what do you
course.
give her? What kind of advice?
Natural, simple, profound, energy, philosophy, actions, you know, or just sometimes just listening. Sometimes it's just listening.
Yeah, that's different than dogs
for me,
need.
sharing my silence and my calm surrender. That's it. I'm like, okay. And they say, you want to go and grab the dogs or the animals or whatever? She comes here. She couldn't. You said, I just needed the natural, simple, profound. All right, I'm good. And then she goes back. Because she lives the money, fame, and power. And she misses the natural, simple, profound. And that's what I represent, right? I represent the natural, simple, profound part.
Yeah.
And she sees that every day I grow, every day I learn something, or I stay clean, right? Or my ranch gets more beautiful because your house, your animals, your achievements are a representation of you. Right? And so it's, wow, the last time I came, this wasn't here, this did it, da 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 da, right? It's always growing, always growing, always growing into the day I die. And then I'm going to come back as a something else, right? Because this is not the first time I've been on Earth.
What do you feel like how have you been on Earth before? Like, do you have any
Missions,
sense?
I get the missions. I'm pretty sure that I tell God, I don't want a boring life. I want a mission life. You know, I want to change the world.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is a big mission life you're living now,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, no.
So if that's how you see it too, then I can see how that would really help you through the things too, the tough times. What does Jada tell you about the women in your life?
Well, she's never judgmental. You know, Jada is definitely the female version of me. You know, which is just look at things from a neutral way of looking at it. You know, it's not bad or good. It just is, right? And it was meant to be for your growth, right? So this man was meant to be for your growth, and you learn this because it will, and I learned this because my ex, right? So we both help each other to snap out of it from just being in the mind too much or in the emotions too much, and go back to who we are. We are spirit, we are instinct, we are heart, and we are mind. And if the mind is going to focus on the wrong things, and then we're going to clear it up. We're not going to let the mind focus on the wrong things, because then it's going to ruin my happiness, my health, and my heart.
Yeah, you have choice. Like, you can choose how you react to different things that happen in your life.
Yeah.
Right,
We humans have that.
Yes, we do.
They don't.
No, they do
That's
not.
why it's easy to
Right.
change their frame of mind. It's easier for me to tell a dog, hey, no more aggression.
Yeah.
But to you, I say, but you have an option, or you have a choice. You cannot be aggressive, you know, well, and then you
I
can
know.
fight.
So some people are open to that and some people aren't. And I have realized in my life too that there are certain people who I want to help. And I know that I am giving them what can be helpful.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're just going to resist. They don't want it. They might think they do, but they don't. And so they are closed off to it. It doesn't matter what I try to do. And so I have to accept that too. Because I want to help everybody too. So it can be frustrating, but not everybody wants to do that.
And that's exactly how I was able to understand the relationship that I had. Because I only had 3 women in my life.
Right.
Right? 3. And my
so
favorite
your
number
wife,
is 3.
Shahida and...
Ilusión.
Oh, she was the chef?
Uh-huh. Ilusión.
Is she still in your life
Yeah.
or no? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, hey, it's been a few years.
Ilusión,
And she was a good
Jahaira,
friend
and
of
Connie.
yours, right? A good friend.
We were friends. We were friends, for a long time. So we built this relationship of friendship, right? Which I didn't do it with the other 2.
That's right, because it was very different, your outlook on women before.
Yeah.
That's right. You told me about
You see
that.
it? So it's like, it's funny how things happen,
Yeah.
right? And how life, God provides these circumstances of these people in your life. And so the whole point is for you to learn. But you have to be willing to see it that way, right? You have to be willing to see it that way.
That's the key
You
difference.
have to be willing to be calm, surrendered to everything. Nothing is good or bad. It just is, right? And it's kind of hard to surrender to that concept. Nothing is good or bad. No, when it's bad, it hurts. I know, but you learn.
Yeah. Do you feel different? Like, are you seeing a different part of yourself now that you've been dating her? Remind me of her name again.
Connie.
For a few years. So do you feel like she brings out a different something in you?
You know, one thing that I never even thought about it, which is sad, right? I never even thought about assessing and evaluating the spirit of a woman, the instincts of a woman, the heart of a woman, and the intelligence of a woman. I was trained, conditioned to look at the beauty of a woman. That's it.
You're
That
going
was
to miss
Jahaira.
a lot by looking at.
That was Jahaira.
Oh, okay.
You see it? So to me, Jahaira was pretty. That's it. She doesn't have to have a good spirit, a good instinct, and a good heart. Even though I say, well, that should be instinctually, that should be naturally, right? But for whatever happened to her life, the way she grew up, she couldn't get in touch with that. But she told me that from day one. I just didn't saw it.
They always tell you from day one.
Yeah, of course.
It's always there. You just have to listen. You have to look and see
you
it.
got to be looking for it. That's what I tell people when you get a dog. Assess and evaluate. Do not fall in love with the cuteness. Do not feel sorry for the dog. Do not adopt based on that concept, right? Mm-hmm. So most men, I would say, especially where I'm from, we will look at the woman's beauty, and that's all she has to have. Mm. But then with Connie, you can see her honesty, integrity, loyalty, happiness in the moment, faithful. Not only to me, but just the way she behaves with God and her family. Instinctual, good mom, direction, protection. She's a Michelin star chef without me.
Yeah.
Passionate about what she does. Everywhere, she's passionate about it and smart. On top of that, she's hot.
So she's the whole package. Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
But as a human, that's what you need to have the richest kind of experience with somebody, is somebody who's equally rich like you. And I'm not talking about, money. Wealth. But yes.
She doesn't need me for nothing. She can do her own perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Which I never saw somebody like that ever.
And you were open to this at just the right time. You know what I mean? To her, because you went through all these different parts of your life, and then you got to the point where you were doing this like soul searching and getting to the right place where you were open to seeing her and all of the things that she has. It's
like
to
God
offer.
gave me a homework, and I just did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I needed to go through the ups and downs of a relationship. Because for me, it was much easier to jump the border, to become the dog whisperer. Things that are more difficult, right? Because think about it. I mean, man, woman, they're being together for the beginning of life, and I didn't know how to do it. But I knew how to jump a border. I knew how to become the dog whisperer. I knew how to learn English. I knew how to have a TV show when I never had them.
It's
historically,
wild.
I should be better man, woman. Historically. because my ancestors already did it.
Right.
Right? And it's everybody around it has a wife and a husband. So I should be able to say, how do you have that? I didn't ask nobody how to jump the border. I didn't ask nobody how to have a TV show. I didn't ask nobody how to become the dog whisperer. I just did it. That's more difficult. I couldn't do the most natural, simple, profound thing to do, which is find the right woman.
So did you find her now?
Yes, yeah.
Like unquestionably, she's the
Unquestionable.
one.
Oh my God, yes. No, just at another level, that woman. It's at another level. I just never. My mom is amazing. My mom is just incredible. I wish my dad would let her know that. That's all she wants to hear, that she's an incredible woman.
Oh, so she doesn't hear that from
No.
your dad ever.
No, she's never heard it.
Well, what? So I think this is where. So this is where it comes from. Probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is the role modeling that
Yeah.
you had growing
Yeah.
up. Well,
Yeah.
so they didn't have that kind of relationship where she was
She was
supportive.
just a worker for him. I love my father. I admire my
Yeah.
dad. Everything I learn is from my dad. The integrity to work is my father. My father has helped me to plant a lot of trees here, and he's just as strong. But when it comes to being a good husband, I couldn't learn anything good from him because it was a lot of insults, because his insecurity. Right, his insecurity, besides his lack of knowledge, but he just chose to practice that side. And of course, I didn't want to become like my father. Listen, 3 women for a guy that has money, fame, and power. I'm a beginner compared to all my friends. They have hundreds of women in their lives. As far as for my friends, the chat that I have, I'm like the back of the pack guy. I'm the weakest. As far as they're concerned, I'm gay. As far as they're concerned, I'm just the gayest of them all. And their vision, because I don't have a pack.
Huh. Yeah.
I can count it with my fingers.
But it's so your father would insult who? Like you
My mom,
and your
my mom.
mom, or
No, my mom.
just
my
your
mom.
mom?
No. He's amazing.
So she
dad.
would say things.
Amazing.
He
dad,
would say things to her.
Like, just to keep her, keep
Yeah.
her.
Did she? How did she handle that when you?
Sad. No, my mom, physically, she's not doing good because, she never received the love that she wanted. Obviously, I have always like, Mom, what can I do for you? And to be a good human, it's a good thing that she wants. She feels good. But she wanted to hear it from her husband, her man. Yeah, because I'm not my mom's
Right, it's
man.
not the same
No, it's
thing.
not the same. I'm just her son. I should behave well.
And they're still married?
Yeah. See, I never come from a divorce. So you stay with the person, even if the person is not ideal.
Yeah. And did you ever tell her, like, maybe you should think about.
Oh, no, it's too late.
No. But you never said that to her even years ago?
No, it's very traditional.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Sure.
And I see the sacrifice or whatever the word might be for that.
But that's why that's why it was unnatural for you, because you didn't have you didn't have the example of the other things either. You certainly didn't have the examples of how to become the best dog trainer in the world.
I have examples of how to be a good worker.
Yeah. But you were missing that relationship piece, I guess, growing up.
And the north of Mexico, it's very Western. Very boots type, very narco corridos types. So it's very machista kind of thing, right? So not even if my dad doesn't know how to do it, nobody else around. I had a role model to, to be a good husband or a good partner to a woman.
Yeah.
I did. But now with this knowledge that I have, I can pass that to my children. And that's the beauty. That's the benefit. That's what I'm excited about. Because Andre's 30 years old. Calvin is 26. They're not even close in their orbit to marry somebody. They're still working on themselves.
That's great. So they have had all of this time to see your growth too, because like we talked about, you're always getting better. You're always growing and learning and evolving.
Yeah.
And that's how to be. So now they get to see this more evolved man in a relationship.
Yeah, and they love Connie. So Connie has been the woman that they call mom and they feel safe, and they
Okay.
feel trust, and they feel respect, and and it's easy to love, you know. Yeah, yeah, and so they see, okay, my dad went through this one, and this one. Got it. This is the role model, right? Honorable, respectful, loving, smart, on top of the beauty, right? The beauty is it's one of the ingredients, but not the whole package,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so you've come a long way. We talked about some of your darkest moments. We've talked about them in other talks we've had. We've
Yep.
talked about some today. There's another moment that we didn't talk about, and I just wanted to see kind of how that felt for you was when you lost Daddy.
Daddy was, I couldn't mourn him because, the day that he died, I left to England. Yeah, so he died and then I left to England. So I couldn't mourn and understand the capacity of this guy because my marriage lasted 16 years. Daddy lived for 16 years. So the moment I was married, Daddy was there. The moment that I divorced her, Daddy died. So it's almost like this metaphor thing, and I have no idea that this message. I always felt guidance by Daddy because I didn't have my family here. But every time I see Daddy, it gives me this sense of everything is going to be okay, right? It's like he will absorb whatever bad energy I had or whatever confusion, and he knew what to do with it. So it's like the Jedi master, right? Like, do Jedis exist? They do. They do. They know how to move energy. They don't talk too much, but they know what to do. And somehow, because you're receptive, obviously I was receptive. And I follow it, just like I follow the voice. Say you want to be the best doctor in the world. At 21, you have to leave. You have to leave now. And then when the coyote comes, this is the one. You see it? So I listen without asking or without questioning. But then when Daddy dies, and then this source of energy is no longer there. Now I have to do it myself. Because I was a young guy, from 21 to 30, just in a different country with a completely different traditions. Everything is different in America. Everything is different. Everything is different. You need some kind of somebody that keeps you connected with good communication and a good relationship. And that was him. He kept me connected to my spirit, my instinct, my heart, my mind. I always feel it in that order. Spirit, instinct, heart, mind. Spirit, instinct, heart, mind. So every time Daddy was around, it's almost like they gave me a pill or an injection just because he was there. And when I'm around my kids, that's exactly what I project. Don't worry, I got you. I got you. I'm 55. Don't worry about it. You're 30. What you're doing is reruns. It's reruns. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You're using your mind for this. Let's do it with the breath. Just breathe. Just silence.
So when you lost Daddy, how did you emotionally? How did you cope with that?
I didn't cry. I didn't do nothing. I just left and went to work because that was my first tour in England. So I toured like 20 cities. And so you got to go right after. So I didn't even took the break. Just like my divorce. So I never went into healing. I just went from divorce to Jahaira. So I was a broken man going from one. So I didn't even know that thing existed. A broken man? What the hell? Me broken? You know what I mean? I'm a warrior, right? So warriors don't feel emotional things and don't think about things. You keep going again and again.
Yeah.
But you feel something inside.
You sure do. And it goes deep and it does not leave until you deal with it.
It's a virus. It turns into a virus, right? Because you haven't dealt with it. It's not flowing. Your heart is not loving. It's not flowing. Your mind is not stress free. You're still thinking, but you keep going because I got to go to work. I got to do this. I got to make sure. And you get busy, but the virus is still inside of you.
So when did you feel the virus come out with the grief? Did you feel it? Did you get to a point later where you allowed your emotions to come?
Yeah.
Did it come? How did that happen? And when?
Well, it happened in a ceremony during ayahuasca. You know, where when you're incomplete, let's say you do a conversation, no wonder, right? So it's a ceremony. It's a ceremony of honoring a certain thing or a certain relationship or a certain person or a certain dog. And when you're incomplete, you're not clear. And when you're not clear, you're not pure. And you hold that, right? So during the ceremony, you're like, you go, you have, it's almost like you're having this conversation with someone and you feel good apologizing if it's necessary. Because one of the things that happened to me with another dog that was also spiritual, because not every dog that comes into your life is spiritual. Some dogs are instinctual, some dogs are emotional, some dogs are intellectual, right? But Bison, my Frenchie, he came into my life, and since the moment I saw him, he's like, Daddy. He's so spiritual. He's like, he knows things that I don't know. But by then I was already trained by Daddy, right? Like to see like the difference between an instinctual dog and a spiritual dog, right? It's a difference. They all have it, but some they have the spirituality a lot more developed, right? And so Bison, and one of the ceremonies, he said, I didn't want to die, but your dad would have died if I didn't die. So he took my dad's moment to go, because my dad and him got a surgery on the same day. And then, and Bison was having a surgery on the nose, right? Just to open it a little more, because he was breathing really hard, and weathers like this, well, it become overheated. So I just took Bison, for a simple surgery, and he passed away.
Oh.
And on the ceremony, he comes and says, I didn't want to go. But if I didn't go, your dad would go.
Oh, wow.
Like that kind of, that you think, that's just, you're just thinking about it. No.
Mm-hmm.
Animals have a spirit and they have a mission, and if you allow it, you'll see the magic and the miracles. You'll see that they're not here just to follow you around. They're here to protect you. So when I had that conversation with Daddy, I was able to see 16 years of why he was there. Because Daddy was my client. Like Jada was my client. Daddy was my client. Daddy belonged to Redman, the rapper.
Oh.
You see it?
Okay.
So for a long time, Daddy, $750 a month, he supported me.
Huh.
But it wasn't not just $750, because the spirit doesn't charge you. Only the mind charges you. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
So Daddy was giving me spiritual support, instinctual support, emotional support. I had no idea. I just took it because I'm a good listener, right? But then when you don't have it anymore, and you feel the emptiness of the energy, not longer there, what are you gonna?
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh my God. I'm pretty sure when I die, a lot of people are going to feel the same. Cesar gave us safe, peace, love, trust, respect, love, not just money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Happiness, health, whatever, right? I do. Every single day of my life. I give my best energy to the land, to the people, to you, to anybody that comes to work, to comes around me in my environment, right? That's it. But when I leave, when I die, that's when people will feel it the most. Because that energy is no longer there. But you will feel it. Death is really powerful. Life should be very powerful, but death is very powerful.
I know. I feel like emotions in you right now,
Yeah.
talking about it even.
Yeah.
What are you feeling?
Happy that I understand the meaning of life. You know what I mean? How precious. We can die right now. You know what I mean? So to be grateful of the opportunity to live every single second is an exercise. It's not like I live 1 week. No, you live 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. And that second should be worship, right? And you should be thinking about that second. And you should read it, because that second already passed. You see, we can't collect it. So every single second that you live with that same philosophy, you can only emanate that energy, right? But if you think, I'm just going to feel happy 2-3 days from now, and then that means your happiness level goes down. And the energy you were giving to people is exactly how you felt.
What would you say to people who, after you're gone, feel that loss? What would you say? Let's just pretend that happened.
Yeah.
What advice would you give, or what would you
To my
say to
kids?
them? To anybody who would be like, that's a big loss of energy and heart.
But that's what you do, legacy. That's what you leave things behind, right? Because I by example, I left a lot of good things, right? So I want to be remembered as a source of happiness, source of health, source of a good heart, and a human with a lot of hope, right? And so if I'm dead or not, I want you to think of me that way, right? So if I'm alive or if I'm dead, it's the same.
And you can still be with everybody after you're gone
Even
in that
more.
way, even more.
Even more.
So I recently lost somebody who wasn't that close to me, but it's like I'm thinking about it because it just happened a few days ago. And when I think of him, I think of all happy things, like all good talks we had and all fun times and fascinating, thoughtful conversations. And it makes me feel really good. And I think that's something that's, it can be sad, but you can also take the good, and the good will stay forever. So,
But the only thing things die is when you stop thinking about them, when you start feeling them, when you stop remembering them, right? When you stop even like I have murals of Daddy and Junior and and all the dogs that have passed away. They're in my intimate space. They never die. You know what I mean? So if things are done right, I would never die. I would never die. It's Cesar Millan, the guy who brought the right energy, right philosophy, right actions for all dogs around the world. And that's what's going to stay behind.